Alright guys, so welcome to How Everything Works 101.
Welcome to the Paracosm Cafe TV. Have a sip with me.
Here we have the word Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. It can be divided into three parts. Meso, meaning masculine. Pota, meaning merge. Mea, meaning feminine. So we have the merging of the masculine and the feminine for a creation. Remember, the suffix Asian is always just a state of being. Okay, so the masculine, the meso, is the fire. The feminine is the water. So when you break it down, you have the father, the son, and the mother. At Pota, merge, creation, sun, the merging of fire and water creates wood. And the sun, is a carpenter. Right? Okay, so when you look at a DNA spiral, this is the path of the sun over the earth, right? But it's also the movement of energy within your body. Okay, so here we have a DNA spiral. Everybody's seen this. Right? Okay, so you have the masculine energy and the feminine energy and the field where the sun works, which is the plane of the ecliptic, the plane of creation. It's where the energies merge and you actually create. So what are we using to create? Of course, the Father exists inside you, so does the Son, and He exists out in the field. So the energies that are actually being used to create are meso, masculine, fire, father. It's your thoughts. And then you have the mother, which is emotion. So you have energy in motion. So this is where E equals MC squared comes from. So you have energy in motion. E motion, which is like the ocean. That's why it's called mar, Mary, mar. Okay, so this is kind of like a real simple 2D explanation, right? But what's really happening here is we've all seen an apple, right? And how that happens. So you guys ever seen those fossils that are found that look like a spiral? They kind of look like this. I think they're called osteocytes or something. Well, anyways, when you look at a DNA spiral from the top, you get this image. Kind of like a tree. So when a tree is growing up, it's also growing out, but this center, this is where time doesn't exist comes into play, because all times are happening at the same time in history, because history does not exist the way we think it exists. Everything's happening at the same time. Just where is your frame of reference when you're thinking, right? Okay, so this is what you call a torsion field. So an apple is a perfect example because you got the seeds in the middle, and then you have the connection to the tree, right? The tree of life. So when you take an actual tree, I'm writing out of ink here. The roots bring the water up to You got to remember that hair is just an extension of your nervous system, right? And it creates your state of being, because that's what happens to the fruit. So sometimes you get good fruit, sometimes you get bad fruit. Well, this little spot right here on a human being is the heart. This little spot right here is the pineal gland. Pineal gland, or also pineal. Relating to how this is the human body, you gotta remember that this is the human body as you would think of it in a meditative state, or a stance where your feet are folded in and your arms are holding. By the way, your fingers have a lot to do with this. But anyways, that's another video. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is gonna talk about how this is the human body, right? So this is the core. Like when you eat an apple, you get to the core, right? Okay, so that's also a short word for thorax, torsion, or the Torah, right? Okay, so the heart, but it's also the seeds of creation, right? Jesus. There we go. Okay, so here are the seeds of the creation, and we have in the human body we have ribs, 12 on each side, 12 base pairs, but we have 4 floating ribs. These are all connected. They're true ribs. But then you have the 4 floating ribs. Of course, they connect to your spine. So what you have here is like a crossfire. As a movement of energy is being created, these are firing at different signals based on your thought and your emotion. So as you're moving through time and time and space, you're basically just going about your day, right? You have these thoughts and emotions that are coming, and you're choosing which connections are being made. So you would assume that this is adenine, this is thymine, this is cytosine, and this is guanine. And of course, they're like firing at different levels and creating the apple, right? Okay, so scientifically speaking, this would be sonoluminescence. So if you look up sonoluminescence, it creates the hottest thing that you can create on Earth, which is that little spot. It's hot. It's like, I think it's 10,000 times hotter than the surface of the sun. So that's why they call the thorax a cavity for cavitation, right? Because the cavitation has a creation. So everybody's seen the DNA spiral, how it's constantly moving, all right? So what they're trying to get at is that this spiral is happening here in a rotation. So you have 2 energies, thought and emotion. That's where you get the Star of David from, because this is a tetrahedron in 3D space. So each one of these sticks out just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, and that's why the other star is upside down, right? We're not talking about that one. But yeah, guys. So this is really simple. So these are called a Merkaba, and it's pretty much the easiest way that you can explain. You read the Bible, it'll show you. Basically, when I read the Bible, I know where to insert the verses. So with the Star of David, you have the upwards triangle, and this is supposed to be the skull, right? Your eyes over here. And the lower triangle, the upside down triangle, is the sacrum, or the sacrum bone, or the sacred bone, which is at the base of the spine. So let me see. So the skull is the triangle, right? The upper triangle. It's also the pyramid. A pyramid, the Giza pyramid, and it's short for, the skull is short for in ancient dialect is calavera, or Calvary, right? I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself correctly, but hopefully you guys got a little bit of it.